friends, this is the Cryptonian taking a look at Bitcoin and also taking a look at just a broad overview of the markets, the crypto market. Currently, Bitcoin is 27,975. We can see this here. We're seeing a little bit of a push higher in this 4 hour period. We do have a couple of hours left to go. Now, this is pushing off of this 30-day moving average. And this is that preparation for the week coming up here. Okay, this is the purchasing that we usually see on Sunday evenings. So, that being said, the market right now, looking at the banter bubbles, the market for today, TWT up 10%, Filecoin a couple percent, Algo 1.5%, TKX 1.93%. The majority, though, we can see Pulse Chain down 4.7, Aave down 2.4, Tone down 2.7, Ethereum down half of a percent, ARB 3.5, Pulse 3.9, Ruin 4.6%, Gala down 2.27. So we can see that in general, the market is it's flat, right? Down a couple percent. No real big sell-offs right now at the moment. Taking a look at the week, we do see some strong performers over the last few weeks. TWT up 29%, huge. Render 14%, Rollbit 17%, AVAX almost 5% for the week, TKX 15%. But look at the rest of the market. The rest of the market, Ruin down 11% for the week, XRD 18% for the week, Hex down 7.4% for the week, APT 5%, Aave almost 5% down for the week, Algo down 3% for the week. So this shows you that the market is pulling back and flat, and there's only been select performers that have been going up. Taking a look at CoinGecko, looking at the market at a glance, the last 24 hours is pretty much flat. We do see a little bit in Bitcoin going up 0.2% over the last 24 hours, 2.7 over the last week. Ethereum down 3.3% for the last week. And so, looking at the rest of the market, we see there are some gainers, but over the week there are some losers losing a few percent as well. So we have a mixed bag. Avalanche up 4.8% for the past week. Leo up 5% for the past week. Monero up 5.3 for the last week. Um, yeah, but as we scroll down, getting out of the top 10 on the weekly, a lot of losses. So that being said, this is pretty much how we're going into the new week coming up starting tomorrow. But there have been developments over the week, or excuse me, over the weekend. Israel is at war with Hamas. Israel has declared that they are at war with Hamas, and this is a concern. It's a concern because the U.S., the United States, will be at war by proxy, just like we're at war by proxy with the Ukraine. And so this is going to be a little concerning. Little concerning. Not only that, but we do have. Uh, I shared this story with you, or not story, but I shared this clip with you. It's a clip that I found on TikTok, and it's about Chamath. He's a billionaire. He is very financially astute. He's pretty much famous. He uh, invested in Google and Facebook early on. He's a billionaire and he has millionaire friends. Well, there's a conversation here that they have a podcast. It's called the All In Podcast. And a clip of that was shared on TikTok. I share that here if you want to go to my Twitter account, Twitter X, and listen to that. There is a conversation that they have that is very telling. And it's they're explaining what's going on in the real estate market, and you have a millionaire, right, that is struggling to find financing for his uh, $9 million real estate property, and the banks want to be fully collateralized on that property. So this is the current climate of real estate right now. It's terrible. Banks are very tight with money, and one of the alternatives that was mentioned at the end of the clip, and you can watch it yourself, is one of the guys says, "Well, that's a terrible deal. You're losing opportunity in treasuries to get a guaranteed, say, 5.5% increase on your money. So why would you do that? Why would you risk collateralizing your real estate? You're losing opportunity. The opportunity cost is 5.5% with treasuries." And this kind of gives me this idea that if, you know, billionaires and millionaires are looking towards treasuries and safer plays, what does that mean for Bitcoin and the market? Well, I think that this is going to be a very challenging time for Bitcoin. I think that probably what we're going to do is we're going to come down, retest 27,000. I did see some opinions about Bitcoin because of this declaration of war with Israel and global uncertainty. Um, I did hear, I think it was Michael Vanderpop. I did read on his Twitter account where he says that this could be good for the markets, or for not the markets, but for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a store of value and blah blah blah. And if there's fear in the global economic system, then Bitcoin should benefit because Bitcoin is an outperformer, et cetera, et cetera. Listen, I don't totally buy into that because I've established before on previous videos that Bitcoin trades like a high risk asset, just like NASDAQ. Okay, there is a tight correlation between the NASDAQ and Bitcoin. When we take a look at NASDAQ, where's the NASDAQ? Well, the NASDAQ here, this is the 4 hour. Let's take a look at the daily. Yeah, we had a strong move here recently, but this could end up being a lower high running into this. This would be the bear area, the zero point 0.6 Fibonacci retracement for the bears. This area would be heavily shorted by the bears. We have a low, we have a lower high, and then we have a lower low. This is the definition of a downtrend. So I don't believe that we're going to be going all the way back up to this top here. Most likely what's going to happen, we're already at the 30, and that's usually the place where you see the market turn around. So the NASDAQ could be having another turn down here, especially on the news of war with Israel. And for us, we're most likely going to be pulled into it by proxy. We're in it by proxy with the Ukraine. We're sending them money and weapons. Probably will do the same for Israel. Israel is an ally. What does that mean for the market? I think that it's probably not going to be good for the market. Um, we have to wait and see how Bitcoin reacts in this climate. Now, Bitcoin is correlated with the Nasdaq. Not all the time. Sometimes it breaks away for short periods of time. So the question is, what's going to happen with Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin here is running into resistance. This is 28K. 28K has been a little tough for Bitcoin. We were rejected at 28K here. Also rejected here recently on a couple of attempts already, although we are still applying pressure to the upside. But now with this new war between Israel and Hamas, which Israel, by the way, considers it war, not just a skirmish, not just a short, you know, fighting with Hamas. They're, this is a declaration of war. Um, that being said, you know, where is Bitcoin going to go? I think we're running into resistance. This is the bear pocket, the point 0.5 here up to this 0.618. This is the bearish short zone where there's a lot of selling and shorting. The golden pocket for the bears, 28,350, which is right where we got rejected from, up to 29,200, is that pocket where the bears are going to heavily short. Okay, now especially with global uncertainty, they're going to be more bold in shorting this, right? So with Nasdaq possibly reversing down and Bitcoin running into resistance, we could have some issues, could have some problems. Now this is on the daily. Now let's talk about some positive developments. We're in a uptrend, higher lows, okay? And so the 200 moving average is right here. We're above the 200 moving average. So the question is, are we going to come down, retest that 200 moving average, putting in a higher low and then move higher like so? Not really sure. I think what we need to do is, I think, I can't give you investment advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but for me, a wait and see attitude is the best thing to do right now. Waiting to see how the markets react to this war with Israel and Hamas, and also the real estate. If billionaires and millionaires are, in their discussion of banking, strict, tight loan or lending policy, and they're talking about treasuries is a safe place for your money, then what about the markets? We're not going to see those real big millionaires and billionaires coming into the space that typically pump the market much higher. So that's another thing to think about. So these are things that we need to see how the market reacts and digests. Real estate, commercially and residential, taking a heavy hit. Oil, also oil, we do have some macro concerns with oil. The United States has run out or close to running out of their reserves. And when that's over, then there's going to be a shortage, or should I say less on the market. OPEC, because of Biden dumping extra oil on the market to artificially reduce the price, they're angry, restricting supply. So when you have a restricted supply with the same demand, price goes up. Price goes up, then people don't have the regular citizen doesn't have um, the disposable income to make extra investments like Bitcoin, to take risky investments like Bitcoin or the stock market. So these are things that we need to consider. These are things that we need to keep in mind. So I think here on the 4 hour, taking a look at Bitcoin, on the 4 hour, RSI is 56. 56 is pretty much neutral. We're still bullish. EMA trend is bullish here. And the DMA trend is bullish. We do not have a early reversal yet. The last 4 hours is showing positive. And so this is showing that we do have today being Sunday, buyers coming in for this coming week. Now, we could have a view. The bulls are probably going to view this economic uncertainty and possibly more money printing to help Israel as a bullish sign for BTC, for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is a store of value and typically does well with money printing. However, the Fed is still tightening. The Fed is still tightening. And we are still in a inflationary environment, and the Fed's going to keep the rates high or keep them elevated without cutting them for quite some time more. Real estate is getting destroyed. There's destruction there, and so I just I just don't see on a macro level how this is going to move higher. We're hitting resistance at 28K. You can see here a lot of resistance here at 28K. And if this rally saw a lot of resistance here and had to rely on low liquidity and low market participants to be able to push it a little higher over the weekend, if it's relying on the weekend to move higher, I just don't see this hitting 30K anytime soon. I think we're probably going to have a pullback here. I may be wrong. This is why I want to wait and see how the market digests this information about, Israel and the war and possibly the oil and Nasdaq. Let's see what happens with Nasdaq. That's a direct correlation to Bitcoin. So I don't want to appear bearish right now. I'm neutral because we could see, in light of everything, we could see Bitcoin still pushing higher here. However, we need to be careful. I would not be aggressive in going long here. I would just have a wait and see attitude. So I'm going to say that the risk is to the downside, coming back down, looking for that 200 moving average to retest that, because we had a breakout here of the 200 moving average, but we really didn't come back and retest it for any length of time, right? Maybe, I mean, we were close here, but that's it. So I think probably what I'm expecting is there's more risk to the downside. Could we go higher? Yeah, sure, we could go higher on manipulation. We could go higher. Would we hold that long term? Are we looking at a 30K and a breakout above? No, I don't think so. I think probably what's going to happen if we go higher, maybe 29, maybe we reach the golden pocket, and then we possibly reverse. I do think risk is to the downside at the 200 moving average, 27K, magic number 27K. We need to hold that to be able to um, stay in the game here as far as the bulls and stay in control. If we lose 27K, 25K then is on the table, and then that's going to be a concern, right? So I think a move to the downside is more likely than a move to the upside, although we could see an extension to this rally possibly this week, and then maybe some type of a pullback after this week. So, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Currently, right now, Bitcoin on the 4-hour is bullish. Taking a look at the daily real quick, 200 moving average right here, and we're consolidating above the 200 daily moving average after a breakout of this significant diagonal resistance, right? So we do have a breakout. This is a legitimate breakout on a significant resistance line, and we're showing that we do have some bullish activity here. Can we hang on to it? That's the question. On the daily, we're approaching the bear zone, which is right here. Like I said, 28,400 to 29,200 right here. So this is where the bears are going to step in and heavily short. Okay, and if we lose this volume node here, point of control here on the volume node, I think is 27.5. If we lose that 27,500, then we test that 200 moving average 27,000, If we lose 27,000, then most likely 25,000 is in view and is on the table. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thanks, friends. Um, noticeably bullish here on the daily, but let's see what happens this week. Please keep those things in mind. And also, if you find that this information has value, and if you find that you're appreciating this information, then please feel free to subscribe. Click the like button. Helps this channel grow. And I'm not trying to be bearish. I'm not trying to be bullish. I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to take the current economic climate and global climate, macro, and have a balanced view of the macro with what we see on the charts. Okay, so we may run up to 29,200 into this bearish zone before we see significant selling and failure, or we might just turn around here and retest this 200 moving average. So thanks, friends. See you in the next one.